Hi, it's time for good energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful Day 217. Today we're talking about skin rashes and the senses, and we're talking about the sense of hearing. All right, it is a little cold here in Iowa. I don't know if you can see it. There is steam in the air. There is snow on the ground, and I am here talking to you about skin rashes, which are things that for many of us we live with all our lives. I've had them since I was 7. They get better or worse depending upon, of course, my energy to heal. And today we're going to talk about the basics of skin rashes and the relationship to the healing equation. But we do have, strangely enough, we do have a small connection to the sense of hearing. All right. So let's start with our basics. Let's take a deep breath in and release. If you're new to Endeavor Health and Chiropractic and the Bodyful series, our next breath, the second breath, is always a breath where we take a deep breath, we expand into our belly, then we expand into our chest, and then we expand into our sinuses and our head. And as we do that, you should kind of just feel your sacrum tip back ever so slightly. That's the body relaxing, and then exhale. So go ahead and take a deep breath in. And release. And today, since we are talking about skin rashes, we are going to breathe into skin rashes. We'll pick a different one each day, but these are eczema, so dry patches. So I want you to think about your dry patches. I have a couple here, I have a couple on my legs. They're not very irritated right now, but I'm going to breathe into those dry patches. Take a deep breath in and release. So skin rashes come in all shapes and sizes. The dermatology put down that a lot of people use, that is in dermatology, you go in and if it's wet, you make it dry. If it's dry, you make it wet. And that does help a lot of times, putting moisturizer on dry skin, or putting if we think about a diaper rash, putting on zinc oxide or something that dries the skin, then does take a wet rash and make it dry, and people are able to function. But we want to talk about, instead of just putting something on it, are there ways that we can connect into our senses, or find out how our senses might be contributing to energy to have clear skin? So let's think about the healing equation. Energy to heal equals good energy in minus stressors. And in this case, our energy to heal is energy to have clear skin, energy to have healthy skin, equals good energy in minus stressors. And our good energy in is going to be the good food, the good cleaning, the good, having good experiences, being proud of yourself, accomplishing things, good feeling of self-worth and self-accomplishment, and all of those things are good energy. And good foods are always up for question, because what is a good food for you may not be a good food for somebody else. And that is the complicated thing about skin rashes. It's a complicated thing about healing in general, is that some things that may actually help you might hurt somebody else, and vice versa. So we've got our good energy in, which is good emotions, good cleaning, good, lubing up, good foods. All of those can go into helping make healthy skin. The stressors are, of course, right now we think about masks. A lot of us are coming up with dry skin and irritated skin right along the nose line where our mask is being worn. And so masks are a stressor, so pressure on the skin is a stressor. We can think about bed sores. Those are places where there's pressure on the skin, and that pressure, because we can't move it very much, ends up causing irritation. There are things like bad food. So if you had acne as a kid, you know that your bag of potato chips is probably not something you should be eating. Or if you're a woman, you know that if you eat the bag of chocolate chips at certain times of the month, it will make your face break out. But we can also have bad cleaning and bad lubricating. So for example, there are some sunblocks that some people can't use because they have extract of sea cucumber in them. Now this is supposed to be a pretty hypoallergenic brand of sunblock, but if it contains that sea cucumber, putting it on and wearing it for a long period of time means that you end up with a skin rash. And so that is very interesting because it's very individualized. What can you or can't you wear? What can you or can't you wash with? So this is, my husband fell for the silly commercials for Dr. Squatch. But man, their soaps smell good. But their soaps contain, let's see if I can find their soaps. Olive oil, sustainable palm oil, coconut, shea butter, lye, essential oils of cypress, lavender, clary sage, sea salt, and colon oil, or colon clay. So, you know, this is a very, like, if you were going to get down to the nitty gritty, is there something that we can just scoop up in nature and then smear it on ourselves and make us cleaner? This would be it. And for me, I just wash with, I wash my skin with olive oil or avocado oil and sugar. And interestingly enough, the gladiators used to only wash with olive oil. They would wash with olive oil and then they would scrape the olive oil off, and that would clean them because oil gets rid of oil. So there are various things that can be stressors that you don't know about. So your cleaning products can be that, your sunblocks can be that, your moisturizers can be that. And so the question is, how do we figure out, how do we balance? That comes with experimenting and seeing what does certain things. So for example, I know about the sea cucumber because my oldest would put sunblock on when we get to do sunblock, and we'd always notice that he would just totally break out all the way up his arms and onto his face if we had certain sunblocks. And we discovered that the similar thing was the sea cucumber. So you can look at your stuff and say, well, do I feel good? Does it feel good on me? Do I feel good when I wash it? You know, those sort of things. And that will help you get more good energy in, the bad energy. Now, the food is very interesting because the basics, of course, don't eat your potato chips, don't eat your chocolate chips. But a lot of people will respond to reds, so any natural red pigments, so they might break out or they might get a rash with tomatoes and strawberries and apple skins and radish skins, and they just don't know the cause, but sometimes that red pigment can be the cause. So there are a lot of things that can affect our skin that contribute to stressors, and a lot of times it's experimentation. What can I take out? What happens to my skin? What can I put it back in? What happens to my skin? And that is just about as good as, if it's wet, make it dry. If it's dry, make it wet. So I did promise you one connection with hearing and skin rashes. Shingles, otherwise known as herpes zoster, does have a way of reacting with sound. So you can get shingles in your facial nerve, and in your facial nerve it runs in through your ear, and the sound will actually cause your ear to itch more, and your ear already starts ringing because the facial nerve innervates the ear and around the ear. So it causes ear ringing, and it causes the itching of the ear and the rash and the pain in the ear to actually be worse. So yes, I did find a way to connect hearing to skin rashes, but I had to go around a long way. All right. I hope you are having a great day. I hope you do not have shingles in your ear, because that would be painful. And you can meet me back here tomorrow, where we will talk more about skin rashes and the senses and how to find energy to have clear skin or energy to heal your skin. All right, take a deep breath in and release. Have a great day.